Hi, I'm Brianna Van and today we are going to talk about awesome places to vacation in Nebraska. Now, being a Nebraska native, I've been around the state more than a time or two. There are lots of places here in Nebraska that you can visit and stay at. And I'm just going to list off about 10 of them for you, just so you can kind of get a glimpse of what's all here and what there is for you to come and take in. So, first off, I wanted to talk about a special place in my own hometown of Grand Island, Nebraska, the Stir Museum of the Prairie. Now, this museum is based right on the edge of Grand Island, right off of Highway 281, easy to find. It is a museum based off of the Oregon Trail. Since the Oregon Trail comes straight through Grand Island, you can see some of the remnants of that going through there. Plus, they also have houses and old homesteads that they've pulled from like other places all over Nebraska and even further, even out of state, which is really neat to go there, just kind of like see some of the history of the prairie. Uh, they also have their railroad town where you can go and actually walk through an old town, which is really neat. Some of my favorite memories growing up was going to Stir Museum and being able to just do their like field trips for the day. It's really fun, really good experience. Awesome if you have younger kids that love history. Uh, Second place I want to tell you about is Bader Park. It is in Chapman, Nebraska, which is not far from where I live. Bader Park is this nice little campground right off of the Loop River. Uh, this park has campgrounds, lakes to go swimming in. They have multiple lakes to go fishing in right off the river, so you can go and do that during the day. It's not so far out of the way that you couldn't go to town if you needed to, but it's also enough away from town that you can kind of escape the busyness of that for the day. Really great place, super cheap. If you love camping, definitely recommend you try it out. Another great thing about that park is that even if you don't want to stay there to go camping, you can go there just for the day. It's a great place to go if you just want to like grill out for the day, maybe take the family. Definitely something to look into. If you'd like to still go camping, but maybe not in Chapman, you can also go to Kearney, where they have their Fort Kearney campground, as well as actual Fort Kearney, and they have history museums there as well. Really neat. Uh, Now, over in Hastings, Nebraska, you can go there for their Kool-Aid days. Kool-Aid days is really neat because Kool-Aid was actually invented here in Nebraska. So being able to go and taste Kool-Aid essentially all day long, really a neat experience. And they also get some really cool flavors over there, some that you can't even find in the store. Over in Raymond, Nebraska, they have Branched Oak, which is a huge campground and just a park where you can go boating, fishing, swimming. They have sand volleyball courts. You can go there just for the day or stop in and go camping for a weekend or longer. Really nice. It's really nice park. Over in Ogallala, Nebraska, which is a really small town, there has a huge lake and campground there as well too. It's the Ogallala Aquifer, which sits right under this, is the biggest aquifer in Nebraska. It is huge, and this lake that sits above it actually has 100 miles of coastline, or not coastline, but lake shoreline. The beaches there are actually white sand, which is really neat. It's kind of like the closest thing you can get to a beach while still being in Nebraska, where we're the furthest from any beaches. You can go camping there as well. As you can see, I love being out in nature, love going camping. So being able to find different places like this, I think is just super neat. Especially with everything that's going on. I mean, technology is everywhere. People are everywhere. It's kind of nice just to get away for a little bit. Do your own thing, be in nature, kind of see what like God has given us. If you go out to Bayard, Nebraska, you can see Chimney Rock. It sits in the North Platte River Valley, and when you're there, they also have a museum called the Ethel and Christopher J. Abbott Center. While you're there, you can visit their museum, and they have a presentation that you can also watch. Kind of look at the history of that and the Oregon Trail that went past it. There's also the agate fossil beds. This holds sites for discovering animals of the Miocene species as well as Lakota Indian artifacts. When you're there, you should also walk the Dale Monolix Trail, or also known as the Devil's Corkscrew. If you look at pictures, it looks gorgeous. It goes through a bunch of plains and tall grass. Another great way to kind of escape life and get out into nature for a little bit. Now, when I was in 4th grade, I was lucky enough to go with my classmates to Genoa, where they have an Indian school. Now, obviously, the school is not open anymore, but being able to kind of walk through it and kind of seeing the history of that was really neat. You got to see where these young boys and girls have been taken from their reservations and forced into the school where they essentially were trying to teach them white culture, and they had to learn all of these skills and new beliefs. They were given new names. It's just now coming out that some of these children have actually died at this school, but it really wasn't talked about. It wasn't put out there. Pretty much only these children knew. And I think it's just really neat to kind of go and see where we came from and kind of learn from that. Try to get away from that a little bit. But it's really neat that you can see like the original building, some of the saddles they used to make. They used to teach these kids how to work leather. And they look like these saddles look great, and some of the leather work they did. They also used to work on some of their own blankets and beadings and really gorgeous work. Really cool. It's definitely not like the normal museums you will go to. So that's another thing if you kind of want to see something a little different than normal. Lastly, I have you just taking a stop in Lincoln, Nebraska. Go and visit the Capitol. The building is gorgeous, and especially if you go up all the way to the top, you can kind of just look out of all of Lincoln. And even just going inside of it, there's paintings on the walls. The stonework inside is gorgeous. I mean, even the floors has beautiful tiles. So, if you ever get the chance, highly recommend you stop through Nebraska, take a look at some of these different places, maybe stay a while or forever. Totally up to you.